We are going for liftoff.
Yo. Welcome to an episode of Toke Talks, your sports podcast for the everyday fan. I'm your moderator, Chino, here with host Felix, Luciano. Today we're going to be discussing, I believe, the Lakers freeing up some cap space. We also have the trade rumors going on with the Houston Rockets, looking like they're trying to reshape both the West and the East. And we're going to probably take a little look into what's going on behind the scenes at Golden State, according to Andre Iguodala. So we'll get into that a little bit later towards the end of the show. But for now, to begin, I think we're going to start with the Lakers, because last week when we were sitting around discussing, they had zero cap space after signing AD, it looked like. And 6 players on the team.
Now they got 0 players.
Now they have, what, 3 players?
We got the important
million?
players. That's all that matters.
What do you think they're getting? Hold on. We also can't forget the fact that AD just waived his $4 million trade bonus. So, I mean, what do you think about that, Felix? You think they're going to spend that money on someone big and max them out, or they're going to go after a couple bums and fill the depth?
I think you got to go with a max player here. I don't think AD is waiving no $4 million to get a bunch of bums or a bunch of little low-level players to come out and play. So when it comes to me and when it comes to what I would do with that team, I would definitely go the max player route. I don't think Kyrie is the answer, even though I know everybody wants that to be. It's looking like Kyrie's pretty locked up in Brooklyn, and it looks like Los Angeles is banking on that. And I think it's time to go for Mr. D'Lo again. It's a couple years later after the Nick Young thing. I know I'm bringing up the other Iggy. We're talking about the other Iggy. But it's been a while since that situation has happened. I think he's matured a lot since that's happened. And also, the person that kicked him out the front door isn't there no more. Magic Johnson's not there to answer back to, hey, why'd you cut me off this team or have any bad blood? He can show up there and be a brand new player. And when you talk about D'Angelo Russell, we're not talking about a max player here. Dustin, you think he's anything close to a max player?
No, I don't, but I think he would ask for the max.
What do you think he settles for?
20, 22. I think if he's at 20, 22, that's the perfect number.
I mean, you got to think about it, man. Think about how the Lakers treated him. He's not going to take a discount to go back to them. They shipped his ass off. Why would you take a discount to go back to play with the team that just traded you?
2 words. Anthony Davis.
I don't know, man.
Don't forget LeBron James.
How many max contracts do you think D'Lo is going to get in his career?
0.
Okay, exactly. So now's the time, if he's ever going to get one, it's going to be right now. So if I was his agent, I would be advising him to grab the money while you can, because you don't know when you're going to get that bag again.
My whole thing behind specifically D'Lo, like, I'm pushing him really hard because when it comes to the young core, you just traded your entire young core from the Lakers. True? Like, you literally have nobody when it comes to youth except for Kuzma and Anthony Davis, which they're both really young. Neither of them are going to be old players. That's why I think D'Lo is the perfect fit for this team. He's young. He's going to grow with this team. Imagine 3 years from now if D'Angelo Russell is just continuing to progress. Wholeheartedly, I think LA is kicking themselves in the butt right now for getting rid of him.
Yeah, they could have fully developed him to play for his style.
And they got rid of Brook Lopez. Look what he was doing in Milwaukee.
Is it really worth it to kick yourself in the butt twice when you could have had him for a little bit less than the max?
I hear where you're coming from, but me personally, I think they should use that $32 million in cap space and just try to get as big and large of a team as they can. I mean, look at the Toronto Raptors last year, man. Look what Def did for them. Usually in the finals, NBA teams are playing about 6 players, maybe 7. Toronto was like 8 or 9 deep.
8-man rotation.
Crazy. You don't see that. And look what that did. It gave Kawhi rest. He didn't have to play 48 minutes a game. So I think they should go out. There's plenty of free agents on the market right now. And a guy that I love that nobody's talking about is Bojan Bogdanovic for the Pacers.
That's hilarious. I have him literally right in front of me.
I think is an absolute stud. Every time I see this guy play in the playoffs, I'm like, I don't know why this guy doesn't get the recollection and the respect that he deserves, because he is a certified baller.
Not to be like rude or anything or like talk about the people that aren't from here, but you think it has mostly to do that he's not like a person that played college here that we got to see play. He's from overseas, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So I would say like that overseas player, like I feel like you have to be a top-notch player like Luka, Kristaps Porzingis, Dirk.
I also think
you have to be outstanding.
I also think it has to do with the market that he plays in. I mean, the 2 teams that he's been on has been the Sacramento Kings and the Indiana Pacers. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, how many Kings players do you see with commercials on TV? Not a lot.
And the same with the
Same
Indiana
with
Pacers.
Indiana. Reggie Miller is literally the only one that comes to mind.
You had Victor Oladipo get traded over
And
there.
You don't see him on anything.
And you were never
He's on a couple
watching him on TV.
commercials. I've seen him on at least. I think I've seen him on one commercial.
Yeah, he sang that one time.
Yeah,
that one commercial.
he's got a hell of a voice.
Come back to Orlando, by the way.
He signed a new deal with Hulu Sports when he got injured.
Hulu has live sports.
Yeah, Hulu has live sports, and he shoots the ball sitting down. It's hilarious. But continue where you were going.
So now, I like a guy like a Bojan Bogdanovic. Malcolm Brogdon is a restricted free agent, but we talked about him a little bit last time. He's a 50-40-90 guy. 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90 from the free throw line.
Yep.
Not a lot of guys in the league that are like that. That's guy I think you can get cheaper. Paul Millsap, he's on a team option, though. You can get Brook Lopez back. He's an unrestricted free agent. You imagine that squad if you can just fill up and have 8-man rotation. That helps out a lot. But back to the Anthony Davis thing. As you know, I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and I absolutely love what he did, that he waived that $4 million. But I got to tell you, Felix, I think he's crazy.
Why would you say that?
I think he's absolutely crazy, man.
For waiving it?
$4 million?
That's a house right there. You just waved the house.
Do you realize? I understand he's got endorsements. I know Lakers are about to offer him a max. But what? You don't owe the Lakers anything, Anthony Davis. Now, don't get me wrong. Huge Laker fans. Love that he did it.
Yeah.
But Anthony Davis don't owe the Lakers anything. I would not have done that.
This is the only...
Would you have done that?
Here's where I was going to go with it. If you tell me right now, you look me in my face and you tell me, hey, you waive this $4 million and I'm going to be able to get Kyrie, Kemba Walker,
I agree.
Kawhi Leonard.
I agree.
I would listen to it. How I think they might have approached it is this is one of the best years for free agents. There's a bunch of people out there. If we strike out on even the top person, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all those people are still incredible players.
Yeah.
So with you waiving this, you're going to give us a lot more wiggle room.
Yeah.
That's why I like the D'Lo thing, because I think you can get him in like that 20 to 22 million, and then you have $10 million to play with all these players that you're talking about.
I hear where you're coming from. And the West has never been more wide open ever. With Kevin Durant going down, Klay Thompson tore his ACL. I mean, now's the time if you're in the Western Conference to take advantage of that. The Rockets are in turmoil right now. Who knows what's going on with them? I mean, so I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, what happens to if one of those players get hurt? If D'Lo gets hurt, Lakers are screwed.
You still have $10 million to shape your team around. And not only that, after you finish spending all that money, what happens after that? What's the money that you could spend after you spent the 32?
Well,
you could start signing people for minimum and veterans that have been around for a while.
People would have to take the minimum.
That's exactly what's going to start happening.
Do you think people will?
Takes it?
I got a couple names for you.
Go ahead.
Paul Gasol goes back to Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice. I'll take him over Brook.
I'm sorry. I know every single person that's listening to this podcast is going to say, Felix, you just lost me with this next one. J.R. Smith.
Oh, yeah. You lost me.
No, there's reports
LeBron James, they have mutual interest.
Yeah, I saw reports that they were thinking about signing him.
LeBron James, all he needs is people that can knock down 3-point shots.
He does it. JR does it.
When we're talking about the team that we're creating, the reason that Golden State works with all these stars is because neither of them care how many points they score.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's eating today. We're gonna beat you guys by 17.
Someone's
no matter
gonna put
what.
up 30.
I don't think that people like that you're talking about like that, like the $9 to $11 million players are gonna be able to swallow that pill as much. I think you go and tell J.R. Smith, yo, we're giving you the minimum, but you're going to be with LeBron again, and you're going to be able to redeem yourself a little bit. I think he's listening. Another name that nobody's been talking about that hasn't retired, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh,
I hate
stop.
I hate it.
Stop.
I hate it.
Melo's washed. Melo is washed. I love Melo. One of the greatest offensive players. Not greatest player. One of the greatest offensive players I've ever seen.
Now, let me ask you a question. You as a Lakers fan, him being the 9th best player on your team, you don't want a Melo for veterans minimum?
No, because it causes too much drama. Melo has too big of an ego. He's not going to want to be playing 20 minutes a night.
I think
it's not worth the headache,
I think Melo took this year and got humbled. He couldn't go and play nowhere.
If Melo came out and said, I'm comfortable playing 15 minutes a night, not putting up 20 points a game, I'm not going to be a ball hog. I realize that there are 7 players on the team better than me. Obviously, he doesn't say all that, but if he knows that in his head, then I'll take him.
And I have one more player that's not getting the recognition that he should be, and the Lakers should be making like the quiet move for him. He used to play in Orlando.
Okay. Let me see if he comes back.
JJ Redick.
Oh, JJ
Redick is an unrestricted free agent right now with Philly. And all they're worried about is Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. They're going to forget about him.
I would take JJ over both of them.
Do you know how much a guy like JJ Redick costs?
I think he was like $26 million this year. Oof. It was a lot of money, right?
They're not going to be able to get JJ. As much, I love that. And I love
sorry,
where your head's
JJ.
at. I love where your head's at because Lakers need shooters.
I mean,
LeBron
if you strike out on all these players, remember, as soon as one of these players say, I'm going here, the dominoes start falling.
I mean, does any other team pay JJ 26 though? I mean, I would take a pay cut to go play with LeBron and AD. Maybe go get a ring.
But honestly though, would you think about it for a second? If you're not promised a ring, and you're only NBA careers don't last long, and we just saw somebody suffer a horrific injury. You're only in this league for so long, and you're only in your prime for so long. Right. You're only gonna get that bag for so long.
Left. Yeah, he got one good year, maybe two.
Just saying, man. Like maybe I'm just money hungry.
His best chance though to get that ring, I think, is with LeBron and AD. No?
This year, I think LeBron is like gun ho on.
Well, I already told you my thoughts on that. Wherever Kawhi Leonard goes, whether it's Toronto or the Clippers, they're winning the title. I don't even need to hear anything else. No. I don't know. I don't need to know where Kemba goes. I don't need to go anywhere.
So it doesn't matter wild card if Clay goes over there?
In my mind, 100% Clay's staying in Golden State. Because
I would say 99%. I would say the 1% would be Golden State making a mistake.
That would be the dumbest, bro. Yeah. There would literally be a 30 for 30 on the Golden State move. Them getting rid of Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
It's the greatest shooting backcourt in history. You don't fuck with that.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
Don't break up the Splash Brothers.
It's worked. It's worked.
You don't do that.
And here's my whole thing also with the with the max player and stuff like that. Right. A lot of these players that are out there that you keep on naming, they already have positions that have already been taken by the Lakers. What would you say right now is the Lakers' biggest need?
Shooters.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what killed
Kuzma,
them.
I was gonna say
position.
Point guard.
Position for sure.
You need a big point guard.
What's Kuzma?
Kuzma is a power forward.
You don't look. Let me tell you somebody right now that would be absolutely perfect for them at point guard position. That would cost them little to nothing.
Don't hit me with no Patrick Beverly or
Patrick Beverly, bro. Are you kidding me?
He's a pit bull.
He's got the heart of a lion, dude.
That's that defense right
One of the best defenders in the league. You'd get him cheap. He already has a house in LA because he was playing for the Clippers.
That's facts.
Why, bro? Why wouldn't you get that? And then, like, a guy like Patrick Beverly has proven he can shut down a guy like Steph Curry.
But Patrick Beverly has also proven that he's not a full 42-minute point guard.
No, but who is?
D'Lo. D'Lo is
42 minutes.
I'm sorry, 42 minutes is exaggerated. No. I'm sorry about that.
A lot of people are 42
I mean a starting point guard who can play the entire season. Like
Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly, he's a guy that's going to go out there and give you his all on defense and push and push and push, and then you have to bring somebody else in. Bro. We're humans. We get fatigued.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Patrick Beverly is a guy you would want on your team.
Oh, yeah.
Any team in the NBA would take Patrick Beverly.
If any team turned him down, they'd be stupid.
Like, okay, look, I am not saying Patrick Beverly is a better player than D'Angelo Russell.
No, by no
means.
There's no, like the money says
and
it itself.
And I know D'Lo would probably work out a little bit better on the Lakers as far as stats go, but I'm talking about when LeBron and D'Lo need a rest, and it's only Anthony Davis with a bunch of bums, bro. I'd rather have LeBron on the bench, and then it's Anthony Davis with Danny Green, Bojan Bogdanovic, Patrick Beverly. Like, that's what I want. Maybe a Trevor Ariza, guys like that.
Ooh, that's a good day right there.
Like, that's what I need.
I'm just looking at like all the free agents right now that are available. And when it comes to the point guard position, if you don't get a person named Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker,
Kemba's already Boston, right?
No, they're the front runners. They're saying.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw
No.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't get Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, or D'Angelo Russell, the cutoff from there, like from those top tier point guards, is incredible. Like there's nobody left. Like I'm gonna give you a couple names: Rondo, Darren Collison, Corey Joseph, Jose Barea, Emmanuel Mudiay.
JJ Barea.
He's nice.
I love JJ Barea. You know why, man?
That's a minimum.
You know why? Because back in the finals when they were facing the Heat, LeBron James was posting up JJ Barea and couldn't do it, bro. JJ Barea held his own.
Yeah,
man.
he shut that down.
Dude, LeBron, that is the worst finals by LeBron ever. But anyway, we're digressing.
I would just hate for you guys as the Lakers to miss out on Kyrie and miss out on D'Angelo Russell. And then you're looking at your team, and the point guard that you have playing point guard is... Let's be realistic here. Let me not be disrespectful to your team.
What about, see, like, I'm looking at all these unrestricted free agents right now, and all of them look great. Even a guy like a Ricky Rubio, bro. A Terrence Ross.
Yeah, but Ricky Rubio is going to give you the same problem that Lonzo Ball just gave you. He's an amazing point guard. He can pass. He can do all these things. He can't shoot. He can't make an open three-pointer.
Dude, no. That's not true. That is not true. Ricky Rubio, he's not a consistent three-point shooter. He can put the ball in the bucket, though.
Ricky Rubio is not a shooter, period.
I'm not saying...
Period.
Look, I understand what you're saying. I'm going to look up the shooting stats right now.
I
don't think it's as bad as you think it is.
What do you think his 3-point percentage is?
Less than 35%. Less than 30%, I would even say.
Okay.
Well,
less than 35% is good.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, what do you consider...
Steph Curry shoots 40.
Oh,
so
then,
let's set the bar there. That's the apex of shooting.
Curry shoots 40, shooting 8 to 9 3-pointers a game.
Oh yeah.
Rubio shoots 2 3-pointers a game.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's be honest.
And he's probably a lot more open. Steph is shooting contested threes.
Sure, but I'm saying if he takes 3 3-pointers, I think he's making one of them in the game.
Okay.
33%. Like that's not enough for me.
That's a good 3-point shooter.
I'll look it up.
Do you want me to give you some different stats? D'Angelo Russell was shooting 38% this year, averaging 8.6 3-pointers a game.
Yeah.
LeBron James needs a volume shooter. He needs somebody that can put the ball in the basket repeatedly. Rubio is not that. We all know that. Same thing with Rondo. He had Rondo on the team. Rondo's the same problem. Rondo is an amazing point guard. He has championship pedigree. Cannot put the ball in the basket. If you can't put the ball in the basket, you can't play with LeBron James.
31%.
31%?
Last year, he 32 for his career.
32.2 for his career.
32.2.
That's not enough for me.
85 from the free throw line. That's not bad. Yeah, no,
But he only has.
Tell me his points averages though. How many points has he been averaging every season? 11 points, 10 points, something crazy like that. You can't give me
11.1 in his
11.1. You can't give me a point guard that makes 11 points a game for LeBron to play with.
He gets 7 assists too, career.
Huh?
7 assists.
Like I said, same as Rondo.
Okay,
Look up Rondo stats for career assists. He'll be plus 10 every single time.
I mean, but he also had the big 3 for a couple of years.
Sure.
But anyways.
At the end of the day, man, I think they need as many shooters as they can get. One more shooter in D'Angelo Russell isn't going to be enough. I think if they sign as many shooters as possible, a Danny Green, a Bojan Bogdanovic, maybe even a Nikola Vucevic from the Magic, bro. Stretch center. Nikola can shoot, man.
He just doesn't want him to leave Orlando.
Vooch is staying with
But I'm just
Orlando.
saying though, like those kind of players.
But you want to know how much Vucevic is asking for?
Max, we'll give it to him.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
$25 million.
These people these NBA players are so overpaid. There are, like I said before we started the show, there's probably only 3 to 4 players that deserve what they're getting paid right now.
All right, Mr. Walters, I'll put you in this situation, and we'll leave this right here.
All right.
You're the Lakers right now. You can either get D'Angelo Russell right now for $22.5 million, and you still have $9.5 to spend.
Okay.
Or you can get Nikola Vucevic for 25 and have 7 to spend. What's your choice there?
Okay. I'm sorry for saying Nikola. I forgot how much he's asking.
That's what I'm talking about.
Say Danny Green.
You don't think he takes
ask me if I'd rather have D'Angelo Russell for 22 or Danny Green for like 12.
But I think you can get both, is what I'm trying to say. I think when
then
you
that's
show
it. That would be it. D'Lo and Danny Green would be it.
And then after that, you start shaping the team with all these max players. You start hitting up all these other players that are still there. The Mellos, the ITs. Or actually, no, not IT. IT didn't work in Los Angeles. He just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree.
So what do y'all think about
We'll just see what happens, is what I'll say.
That's true.
Because I will say we had a poll the last time, and that poll was not looking good for you, Dustin. It looks like AJ Green did not get voted into the Hall of Fame by the fans.
Speaking of a possible Hall of Famer, CP3 in Houston, the rumors going on.
I don't think that's a possible Hall of Famer. I think
no, you don't think CP3 is Hall of Famer?
I think everybody knows that he will be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's a first.
His stats are
Okay.
He's like a Karl Malone. He'll never win anything, but he's a stats.
I think that's something that me and Dustin will always agree on. He's a great point guard.
You know what we call him in the business? A compiler.
Okay, why? Because he compiles a bunch of stats.
Compiler, bro. Just in the league for a long time, just doing it over and over again.
Like, could you imagine?
Compilers.
Let's just be honest. Speaking of compilers, can you just like think of how the Hall of Famers, like when they go to vote, they're gonna look when Russell Westbrook's up there. Like,
You have
wait,
to.
wait, what? He averaged a triple double 2 years in a row. He might even do it 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
we'll get
give
into
it
that
to
a
him.
different day.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, for compilers, that's pretty incredible. Like, this now
bro.
the stats is just crazy.
I cannot stand Russell Westbrook.
So I think it was.
I can't stand watching him play.
Nah,
bro.
Westbrook's GOAT.
He does not play basketball the correct way.
Westbrook,
He doesn't, dude.
I love you.
I got your
Westbrook.
back.
Come to Orlando.
I got
bro.
your back, boy.
Westbrook.
We'll take you over here.
Westbrook, they got your back. I don't want your back. I don't want your front.
I got your back.
I don't
homie.
want your shot. I don't
We
want
got-
anything.
Hey, we guys double O in Orlando. We need an O now. So let's go.
And it hurts because I know you're from LA, but I'm sorry, bro.
But I think it was who was it? Clint Capella. And who's the other guy you had mentioned?
The Houston one?
Yeah,
Capella, Eric Gordon,
And Eric Gordon
and
for
Evan Turner, right?
PJ Tucker.
and PJ Tucker. Just for buckets, only for like straight up 3
No,
for 1 or
it-
what?
They're
Um,
also offering those players individually to teams.
Exactly.
Just to free up cap
Yeah,
space.
because I saw something like Boston was trying to get involved or something.
Well,
but-
right now they can't afford Jimmy Butler, so they
Right.
would have to get rid of one of those 3 just to be able to afford him.
Facts.
Maybe, probably more than one.
Who would you get rid of?
Out of those 3,
Yeah, like-
none. But if it had to be
If you
one,
had to, yeah.
what is it? Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and who was it again?
Clint Capella.
Clint Capella.
So basically,
Capella.
you're giving up your defensive
Clint Capella.
captain. Really?
Clint Capella.
Okay.
You could find a rolling. There's a lot of rolling centers that can do exactly what Clint Capella's doing. Let me explain Clint Capella's game for you. He's a great offensive rebound, and when he's on offense, he goes to the high pick and roll right at the top of the 3-point line, sends that screen for James. If that other center on the other team comes at James to pull up to stop him from shooting the threes, he lobs it to Clint Capella. If he doesn't, then James Harden shoots a 3. That's literally how the Rockets' offense works, bro. Clint Capella can be replaced by almost any center in the league.
I think Clint Capella is really, really good for that Rockets team. Just because besides Chris Paul, when he's not on the court, they don't really have like a person that's going to go all out defense. Besides a PJ Tucker, who they're also offering to trade.
He's
So
also old, though. He'd be my number 2.
For
Eric
me-
Gordon, absolutely be the last person I get rid
that
of.
is my last one.
Crazy if you
My
get rid
first
of Eric
one.
Gordon.
My first one would be PJ Tucker, and just because of the fact that I understand that he is a scrappy player, he's a great player. He played great defense on a lot of people in the playoffs. So I'll give him a shout out for sure. But when it comes to you building a team, like you said, people like that are replaceable. Like you can find people that have heart for cheaper. And why not capitalize right now when he's at the top of his money? Like his value right now is not going to go up. We can just be honest.
No.
So why not trade him now at his peak? That's the only reason why I would say PJ Tucker instead of Clint Capella. And Clint Capella also
But I
because he's the
think-
defensive captain.
I'd have to look up his contract. I don't think they're paying PJ Tucker all that much.
No, he's probably not getting paid that much. He's probably like a $7 million a year player. Something like that. Like a 7-6.
Yeah, but I understand your PJ Tucker argument. I honestly, the reason why I would pick him would probably be because of his age. I'm pretty sure he's 37 years old. And in basketball years, that's like 54. So
Do you think that there's a team that Clint Capella could go to and kind of play that same role and be that kind of player for them, though?
he's making $8 million annually, PJ Tucker.
Peter, I said 7.6. I was
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. I'm sorry, say it again.
With the Clint Capella thing, do you think that there's a team out there that he could fit into perfectly? That like in your
Yeah.
head, you're like, I don't get why this team isn't
Yeah.
like screaming for this guy.
Honestly, almost. Nah, not almost every team in the league because it's becoming a shooting league.
That is
Like,
true, yeah.
dude, if you can't shoot a jumper, even if you're a center,
There's
like
no more
you're
big men
extremely
like that,
limited.
no.
You can only do so much.
Like, there's no true big man.
I was gonna say the Lakers.
There is
Oh.
Anthony Davis.
Well, yeah, but he shoots threes.
That's true.
I'm
Or
talking
you're
about
saying
just straight up in the paint. Give me the ball, Shaq, feed me.
Hassan
No.
Whiteside?
Yeah, but he's trash. Heat don't even play him.
Well,
He'd have been trying to trade him forever, but his contract's ridiculous. That's another player, man. All these guys are making 20 plus in the year. Hassan Whiteside can't shoot past 5 feet, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Why is he making 20 plus in the league, dude?
because of the league that we're in now,
Yeah.
they're making so much money.
Like, Hassan Whiteside
Shout
in the
out to
1980s
WNBA.
would be a beast.
Say
Hassan
that again?
Whiteside would be an animal.
When back in the
Back
days?
in the
Yeah.
1980s
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
the late 70s, bro.
Yeah.
But in today's league, if you can't, like, you have to at least be able to shoot a consistent mid-range. Every team wants you to shoot the 3, but if you can't do that, at least have like a 17-foot jumper in your arsenal.
And
You just can't be one dimension, bro.
Yeah.
what Kevin said looks like it's true. It looks like the Sixers and the Rockets will be making the trade, but they would have to add another team into it.
Yeah, that's what I
And
thought.
Boston already said that they have interest in being the third team if they would be acquiring Clint Capella.
That's yeah.
I like that. I like that for Boston.
I wanted Boston
Just
to go
because they're
after
losing
Steve
Al
Adams.
Horford. But once again, what is Al Horford? A stretch big.
A stretch
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
yeah.
They need. They
You
need
have
Steve
to be able to
Adams.
shoot. And dude, Clint Capella, I'm pretty sure this guy. I want to say 5-year 55 or 444.
He got paid the year before James Harden just got paid.
He got paid last year.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, but I'm just like, not a lot of teams are going to take on that contract when all you can do is roll to the basket.
And
And
Boston
catch
just got
dunks.
rid of their center too.
How-
I forgot his name.
Boston?
Yeah.
Al Horford, that's who he's
No,
talking
the
about.
other guy.
Jason, Baines. Aaron Baines.
Yeah, Aaron Baines. Yeah, they just traded.
He-
Got rid of him. Yeah.
He just left as well.
So yeah, they definitely need that big man role.
I feel so, like, I feel bad, but at the same time I don't, because you put yourself in that position. For Houston, every single time I feel like me and you have a discussion about Houston, we're talking about bad contracts.
Yeah.
Chris Paul,
yeah,
$42 million next year, bad contract.
Bad.
Clint Capella making this much money, bad contract. The only contract that we'll say is a great contract, James Harden, and it's just because he's balling out.
Yeah. He's always been a contender MVP for what,
And
past 4 seasons.
and that's
3
another
seasons.
guy
Last 3 years, yeah.
who got a
that's it.
max contract. Don't get me wrong. James Harden, top player in the league. But I don't think he deserves max dollars. If you can't carry a team to the champ, if you're not championship caliber,
That's true.
if you can't get it done in the playoffs, like if you disappear in the fourth quarter every single year in the playoffs, like don't get me wrong, he's putting up 35 a game.
The Rockets. Have
Yeah.
They made,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost to Golden State.
Right.
And they had a 3-1 lead on them.
Look, don't get me wrong,
Bruh, no max.
and people will make the argument. Look up his stats, bro. He's putting up 35 a game. He's got 10
He lost
assists a
3-1.
game. But that's because of the systems he's in. The reason him and Chris Paul don't get along is because he's holding the damn ball so long.
It's multiple ball dominant players that just need the ball.
Do you know it's the Russell Westbrook argument, bro? Do you know how many players in the league could average a triple double, dude? If they had the green light Russell Westbrook did? I can name 5 off the top of my head.
I just think that Russell Westbrook is getting a bad name for himself now because of how many triple doubles he's gotten. But like, you say all of this with all these people, nobody's ever been he's about to take over the triple double lead by incredible margin.
Let's
If
think
we were
about
talking about somebody that's like close to them, like even LeBron James, when it comes to being like a triple double person, that's the first person that comes to mind. LeBron James and Ben Simmons. Those are 2 people that all they need is 10 points and everything else will come easy.
Yeah.
The assists and the rebounds is just natural. It's in their game.
I know we're talking about Russell Westbrook right now. It's a little off topic, but I want to dive into this a little more. When did Russell Westbrook first average his triple-double?
When Durant left, of course.
Why do you think that is?
Because Durant didn't have the ball in
Okay.
his hands. The team told him, hey, we need you to put the team on your back and go.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, there are minimum 5 players in the league that could average. I'm just talking about 10, 10, and 10. Yeah. Look, Russell Westbrook's great. He's a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he's not good, but he's not what everyone thinks he is.
I just think Russell Westbrook, and we'll leave it at this, has made getting triple doubles look to your eye a lot easier than it is when you're on the court. I understand now we see a lot more triple doubles all over the place. They're popping up. You see, like, even a Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio get a triple double.
Do you remember the word I used to start this segment that we called Chris Paul?
What was it?
Compiler.
Yeah, we talked
That's
about that.
what Russell Westbrook is.
Yeah.
Steven Adams,
I said that right away.
His center, has even come out and said that
We
they
let him rebound.
let him
Yeah.
come on, dude.
That's the same thing with Melo, though. When
That doesn't
Melo
take
was
it
out
away
there,
a little bit,
Yeah,
though.
Well,
Get his
get the fuck out of here. This is my ball.
But that doesn't take. That's different. That's Michael Jordan too. That's
Yeah.
give me the ball. I'm gonna go get a bucket. It's different saying get out of the way. I'm rebounding. You're a point guard, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. That doesn't take away from the triple double a little bit.
A little bit.
We'll dive.
It's like Barry Bonds. but-
We'll dive back into that. We'll dive back
guy.
into that another day because I'm a diehard Westbrook fan.
I'll debate you.
I love
Exactly.
I'll debate you on
this
that
all
topic
day.
for the rest of
I
time.
love Westbrook, though.
For the rest of the
Come
time.
to Orlando.
What else you got for us, Kevin?
I think we're gonna talk about. First of all, let's want to thank the people that are listening in right now.
Yeah, for real. We appreciate you guys.
Just sitting around listening to Toke Talks. Be the medical staff of the Golden State Warriors now. Apparently, was it today that it came out or yesterday?
I think Iggy was on
the Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club.
Was that this morning? Yeah, he was talking on the Breakfast Club, discussing Golden State's medical staff and how they're essentially clearing people a little too early because they care more about wins than the safety and health of the players. What's going on there with Iggy?
Yo, first of all, let me just say, I think Iggy, surprisingly, has been one of the best interviews in the NBA. He's been on he was on First Take the other day, and I watched it.
He keeps it so real.
Man,
yeah,
I love how authentic he is.
You gotta love that.
Dude. Like, he just comes out and say what's on his mind, but...
He's low-key, too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, no, he's authentic, and I can appreciate that. But
you said you saw him on First Take, and there's the only thing I'm gonna interrupt you with. Did you see when they brought up the Max Kellerman thing about if I had one person to shoot an open 3-pointer, it's
crazy.
Iggy. He's like, you're crazy. It's Steph.
No, it's Steph.
It's Steph. He
And
said
I'll
it just
argue
like
that all
that.
day.
But continue. I was dying
yeah.
laughing when I saw that.
Yeah, no, that is funny. But I think this is a terrible look for the Warriors, man. Coming off that KD injury with the Achilles.
With so many people injured. Too.
Oh, yeah.
So many people. Like, people are just going to look at that medical staff and ask themselves, like, man, if I get traded to this team, are they thinking about me? Are they thinking about themselves? Now, if you ask people around the NBA as far as what I've read online, there have been nothing but great reports and whatnot about the Warriors organization as a whole. People have a lot of respect for him, but I think this is a stain on them, man. This looks really, really bad. And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. But I don't think this will affect them as a team. I think KD was leaving anyway. So
do you think it affects Iggy's relationship with the team?
No,
personally?
only because Iggy just signed a contract, so legally he can't go anywhere.
True.
What about Clay?
Clay's not going anywhere either. I was just about to dive into that as well. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, Felix, and if I had to offer a max contract either to Klay Thompson or Kevin Durant, there is no doubt in my mind I am paying Klay Thompson.
I can agree with you on that.
You don't split up the Splash Brothers. You don't split up arguably one of the best backcourts of all time as well. Not just shooting, but as a whole. I don't know how you do that.
Not to mention that there's your one chance after Iggy says something like this and stains you to stand up for loyalty, right?
Yeah.
No,
If you're loyal, Klay Thompson's giving you nothing but everything. He was hurt and came back to try and play still. And
Did you
dropped 30.
see Klay Thompson when he suffered the ACL? His knee bent the wrong way.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen, but it was pretty gruesome. Bent the wrong way. He's clutching it on the ground. Gets up. Shoots the 2 free throws. He's jogging.
No. You're forgetting.
Oh, no, he
something.
walked back to the tunnel.
Yeah,
That's
He
right.
walked back to the tunnel,
to
and somebody told him, if you don't shoot these free throws, you can't come
play.
back to the game.
Came back, shot the free throws. And he was jogging, bro. He was jumping up on a torn ACL.
And he ran back.
After he shot the free throws, he was telling coach, nah, keep me in. I'm good. He didn't, dude. Heart of a champion, man. Klay Thompson's father has come out and said himself that Klay is staying with the Warriors. All Golden State has to do is offer him a contract and not be disrespectful. A max contract. Now, once again, to continue our discussion, this is another guy that I don't think is a max player. But I think he deserves the money. But max to me is somebody that can carry a team. I don't think anybody in the NBA thinks Klay Thompson would carry a team to the finals.
Yeah, I think it's starting to become that thing where, like, you're not even looking so much as how much money people are making. Just because of the position that they're in.
You have to pay them.
Exactly.
You just have
you
to,
have to
bro.
pay these people. Like we talked about Jimmy Butler. I think everybody in this room would agree he's not a max player.
He's not.
But the position that he's in makes him a max player.
I also think nowadays, just the marketing of it. Everyone, if Butler goes to a team, everyone's copping a Butler.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So you got to kind of pay him on the backside end of that,
It's the Tim Tebow effect.
Yeah,
Tim Tebow sucks,
Tebow,
but he plays for the Mets, and you're going to go.
You're going to go and buy a Tim Tebow Mets jersey now.
And to go off of what we were talking about with Iggy, to be specific, he says last year happened to him. He missed the 7th game, and they kept posting it as like it was a bruise.
Yeah, right.
He's keeping it real and saying that's not true. It was a fracture.
Yeah.
And
for him to come out and say that.
That's a huge difference.
That means that it legitimately bothered him, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're going to come out here and just put out your team that you've won the championship with and you always go to bat for, I think this speaks volumes as to what you're talking about with the tainting of the team.
Oh, dude, the medical staff is what I have questions about.
I don't
Who's
be-
clearing these people?
Right.
I don't believe in like no extraterrestrial or like the basketball gods or anything like that.
No.
But if there was basketball gods, like this is them smiting them, if anything.
But
You lose KD, you lose
Yeah.
Clay. DeMarcus Cousins is like iffy all the
Yeah.
time. Curry is like sometimes hurt. And another thing that I wanted to say that I'm gonna forget if I don't say it now. What does this say about Curry having an ankle injury back-to-back years?
oh, Curry has always had ankle injuries. That's why the first contract he got after his rookie contract, I know it was 4 years, $44 million.
Wow.
And the only reason he got paid that little was because of his ankles. Steph Curry has been suffering ankle injuries every year in the NBA.
But do you think that's nothing correlated to do with them clearing him too
No,
early or anything
I don't
like
think that has something to do with the medical staff because that goes back to college.
Okay, but
Everybody, that's another. That's probably why he went 7th, and because of his size. There were not a lot of people that year in the draft that were saying take Steph Curry over Blake Griffin. That was the year Blake Griffin came out.
yeah,
But anyways, back to the Iggy situation. At the end of the day, Andre Iguodala and Kevin Durant are their own men.
yes,
Facts.
There is no way they're going into that game if they don't want to.
no.
So it's probably them going to the medical staff, going to the coaching staff, Steve Kerr, the rest of those guys, saying, "Hey, I'm good to go. I'm ready to play.
I'm gonna disagree.
I don't care what it says. I'm ready to play."
I'm gonna disagree with you there, just because of we just finished talking about
So
how
you think
real.
they forced him? You said, Iggy, you're playing.
Just hear me out real quick.
No way.
How we keep talking about Andre Iguodala keeping it real. I'll play the video clip. I'll look it up for you. He says in addition to all this that it's a badgering thing. It's like your teammates every single time you walk around. Yo, you good? Yo, how you feeling? Yo, how's everything?
Yeah.
Then the owner comes down. Yo, how you doing?
Yeah,
how's
no,
everything?
and I know
so
exactly.
many people continue.
Right.
Yes.
Even if you're a
Yes.
little bit ready to go, you're gonna go. Why? Because in the NBA, you're judged on your character. If you could have played and you didn't play, you're tainted.
Yeah.
You're not hard.
No,
You don't want it.
I know exactly what clip you're talking about. What he was talking about was not the Warriors specifically. He was talking about the stigma that surrounds the NBA as a whole. That's just how people view players. If you don't play while you're hurt, you're not tough. That's just a stigma that's in the NBA. That's what he was referring to.
In addition to all of these players badgering him and
Yeah.
all of your teammates
But
and
what-
all these people that rely on you.
what he was saying is that's why players come back.
Like, let me ask you a
It's
question.
because they don't want to have that. Oh, KD's not tough. Andre Iguodala's not tough. They don't want to have that. That's why they come back. That's what he was trying to
To
say.
go off of what you're saying with you're your own man, you make your own decisions. If you want to play, you play.
Especially after you're injured. I don't think the Warriors medical staff or the front office have the guts to walk up to Kevin Durant,
And tell
look
him
him in
you're
the
not playing.
eyes, and say, "You're playing no matter what."
My question
No
to you:
way.
if you're Kevin Durant and we're going off exactly what you just said, you're your own man. The medical staff put it on you. The series is 2-2 instead of 3-1. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
You're still coming back to fight with your team? Siri trying to get into the podcast too over here.
Now look, only Kevin Durant knows the injury he suffered. I said right after, I'm pretty sure I told you this, or I told somebody at work, right after he suffered the quote-unquote calf injury,
Right.
I
Against
told
the Clippers?
everybody, I said, no way, that's an Achilles. I've watched sports for way too long. When you suffer a non-contact injury, and when you lay in the ground and you grab the back of your ankle, and it looks like someone just kicked you. Like if you watch Kevin Durant, he lands, he stepped in, he's like, oh, and he looks back and it's like thinking someone kicked him, and he immediately grabs down.
Every single person says it feels like somebody punches you right on the back of the leg.
Yes.
And then you turn around and nobody's there.
Exactly. Now, if I knew I almost tore my Achilles, I'm not coming back. But if I actually suffered a calf injury, yeah. I'm like, no, that's, I'm
Like
good.
you tore your calf or you just pulled it. I'm
Yeah.
playing.
Like only Kevin Durant knows this. They'll never come out and say, at least the Warriors won't. Maybe Kevin Durant when he retires, if he wants to put some bad juju on the Warriors, but hey,
Yeah.
5-7 years ago, just to let you guys know, I did
Hey,
rupture my Achilles,
Can't
and I
put
did
bad
go back
juju
out
on
there.
the team that got you a ring. You know?
Yeah, I don't think he
2
would do
rings.
that.
2 rings.
Two
so
rings.
far, yeah.
2 rings at that.
But at least the first.
I got a question for you. Do you think with all of this and like all the things that you're starting to see and so much bad publicity towards Golden State, the Golden State era can kind of start to fade away? Or you think as soon as Klay Thompson is back, like, we're ready, everything's back, Draymond Green, this is the 73-win team. Like, do you think it's back to there, or you think the NBA is already adapted enough that that's not going to happen?
I'm really glad you brought that up because I was thinking about that earlier as well. I think next year, maybe not specifically next year, but the year afterwards, dude, they're going to be so excited to play.
Yeah, because
I think
it's
deep down
back.
they want Kevin Durant to go. And I also think Kevin Durant has robbed us of Stephen Curry.
And
Dude,
his,
what Stephen Curry
and
was
his
doing
greatness.
before
Both of
KD
them.
was on
Oh,
there,
yeah.
Both of them.
first ever unanimous MVP, back-to-back MVP. That meant, dude, what he was doing before Kevin Durant got on the court. Kevin Durant has robbed us of watching that.
I would agree
He has.
I would agree with you there, only if you would agree that Kevin Durant just as much has robbed us of his greatness. If Kevin Durant was on another team, I understand he would like on Golden State, he looks amazing. Don't get me
What
wrong.
were the other options before Golden? Like, was Golden State the only option
I-
left?
He could have stayed with OKC.
yeah.
He was 1 win away.
Why'd he leave?
One win away. Like,
Why'd he leave?
huh?
Why'd
He
he
wanted
leave?
a ring. He was ring hungry. He wanted
Because
to win
he
a
wouldn't get it
championship
with who?
with Westbrook. The team wasn't
but
enough.
to be fair, that's disrespectful because the management disrespected Harden back in the day, treating him like the sixth man.
I mean,
Tell me not. You put him in the starting five that year, let him develop. After the second year, what happens?
that's my thing, and I'm glad you said that.
Bro, they disrespected.
When it comes to Kevin Durant, he seems to be the person that, like, if he doesn't get it right then and there, whatever the easier path is, he's gonna take. And I honestly think that's why he's gonna go to one of these teams like Brooklyn or New York where he could just start over.
Yeah.
It's easy for him right now. It's easy for him to sit back, enjoy the lights of the city, rehab, be whatever you gotta be, and then see the landscape of the NBA. He's not gonna sign a big contract no matter where he goes as far as player options or team options go. We already know we're in the era where the player has all the control.
Facts.
LeBron James is signing a 2-year contract everywhere he goes with the second year an option.
Yeah.
Everybody, like that's just the new trend
That's a
now.
standard.
So my whole thing is when it comes to something like that, I love Durant, but that's where me and you would, I think, both agree that Curry is the better player than him when it comes to being like in the big lights and everything like that. Curry changed the NBA. Durant
He did
didn't do
change
that.
it, but in the finals, Curry's not the same player that he is in the regular season. He wasn't the same player in the finals before he got there. Let's not forget Andre Iguodala was the MVP when they won one without him. That says a lot.
I would
That's
say
true,
that
that's
that's
true.
I would say that that's
'cause he
more
stepped
so
up on defense.
you locked up LeBron.
Yeah, but
you
you
eliminated.
realize how hard it is to give Andre Iguodala the MVP when you have a guy like Steph Curry must have had a bad finals,
Yeah.
bro.
I mean, when you look at Steph Curry's stats when it comes to like clutch time
Yeah.
in
It's not that
finals,
good.
it's
That's
awful.
what I'm trying to
Ah,
say.
yeah,
KD was the one who hit the shot over LeBron in Game 3
I
last year.
feel like me and Dustin just flip flopped in this entire conversation. He started defending Curry, and I started defending Durant.
No, I am.
Yeah.
No, I was saying I'm excited to see them in a couple years because they're gonna want to play
Yeah.
hard.
But you were saying that Durant robbed us of Curry's greatness.
He did.
I just
He
stood up
did.
for Curry's greatness, and who'd he stand up
Curry's
for?
great. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm just saying
Durant
sometimes
is
in the
the same
finals
player.
he's not the same player.
Exactly, because
You can
why?
say that about a lot of
players.
great
Players are judged when the lights are the
but
brightest.
that does
So-
not mean
so
Steph Curry's not great.
where
That
does
is
that-
No,
not-
by no means. No, by no
Yeah.
means.
That's
where,
not.
where does the light shine brightest for KD in New York? Is it with RJ or is it over there in Brooklyn?
If KD goes to New York,
Brooklyn.
KD became the new LeBron James as far as like you controlling the franchise and who they pick up and everything like that. Like if I'm the Knicks, let alone anybody for that matter, and I have Kevin Durant on my team and he's just telling me players that he's played against or players that he respects or players that he knows are on the up and coming and I might not know about,
Yeah.
I'm going to trust him.
Yeah.
Not only am I going to trust him, I'm trying to keep him happy. It's Kevin Durant we're talking about here. We're talking about a top 5 player who we all know is going into the Hall of Fame. And when his career is over, you're going to have people like Dustin who defend Kobe to death that he is the number 1 player. Having
He's
the
not
same
number one player.
having
but
having the
he's-
same exact argument about Kevin Durant and his greatness.
Look, Kevin Durant's great. That's not. I think you're misconstruing what I'm trying to say.
What are you trying to say? School me up then.
I'm trying to say that Steph Curry is so great. It's kind of like what Dwayne Wade did when LeBron got there. I know Dwayne Wade was a bit older, but he took a step back.
He did.
Yeah.
What we were seeing out of Steph Curry before Kevin Durant got there was basketball like I've never seen. They were so fun to watch. They still are really fun to
The
watch.
Splash Bros were a
But-
different thing.
I don't think Kevin Durant will ever be better than he was on the Golden State Warriors.
Like
You will never have a Steph Curry on your team. You will never have a Klay Thompson on your team. You'll never have a Draymond Green on your team doing all the hard work, getting all the rebounds, and opening you and feeding you open baskets. You are never going to be on a team like that again.
I forgot what player I asked you about that I was asking about, like them play. Oh, Clint Capella playing in like a different system.
They'd be perfect in Golden State.
Draymond Green, is that a type of player that you think that he can bring that same exact energy and the same exact way he plays to anywhere that he goes?
I do, but I don't think he'd be as effective. The reason Draymond Green is so good is because he gets defensive rebounds, he sprints up the court, and he kicks it to a Steph in the corner three.
Like, have you seen a lot of those videos that they have of Steve Kerr just like going off about Draymond Green?
Dude, Draymond Green that's another Hall of Famer, no doubt.
He's
He's
in
like,
the-
you know what he reminds me of? He's exactly, wow, his name's slipping my mind.
Don't hit me with no Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
He's Dennis Rodman.
He really is. Though.
Or he's an extremely lesser Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was a beast. He's no Charles Barkley, but
Nah, the new Charles Barkley is gonna be.
Dennis Rodman was a beast too.
I absolutely hate Draymond Green.
Why?
I don't like knucklehead players who do like dirty plays, like kicks in the nuts and stuff like that.
See, but
hold
all
on,
that,
hold
I
on,
don't think that was
hold on.
intentional.
But never once would I disrespect his greatness.
No, he is good.
Draymond Green is a one of a kind player.
You don't respect him?
Huh? No. I just said I respect greatness.
Okay.
And I think he's great. Like, his career has already spoke for it himself. He's a person that didn't get drafted in the top of his class like he was
Right.
supposed to. He was a person that played good in Michigan. Like, he played amazing over there. But everybody said the same thing with Curry. The same shit. Is he too small? Is he going to be able to play like this? And Charles Barkley, that's the perfect comparison. Because that's exactly what he was. A person that was undersized, but battled with all the big guys because he wanted it more. He had more heart. And he had a good first step and a shot.
Yeah.
Which Draymond Green needs to work on his three-pointer. Because I feel like with that 73-win team, the reason they had 73 wins was because you couldn't leave anybody open.
They're putting up 43s, 33s.
If you left Draymond Green open, he knocked down the three. Yeah. Maybe with like so many like options to pass the ball to, you stop shooting as much, so you're not like as hot in the game.
Yeah.
But he's not who he used to be when it comes to shooting. His triple doubles now are like 11 points.
Yeah.
He scored 11 points or 14 points or something like that. It's never.
But what Draymond Green doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
You
Like
take
the hustle that he
Yeah,
puts
no,
in the
yeah.
defense, like the
saves,
contested
keeping the-
shots,
yeah.
making shots hard on every defend.
Would you say Draymond Green could be a number 2 on a team?
No.
No.
And win a championship?
Yeah.
He can be a number 2 on it. Anybody can be a number 2, but they're not going to win much.
No, we're talking about whenever I ask you a question and it comes to
Winning?
somebody going
Okay.
somewhere, that's all I ever talk about.
All right.
Winning is all that matters.
Yeah, because I was thinking he might be a number 2 somewhere just for the money.
Like, let me ask you a question.
Orlando.
Clint Capella gets traded for Draymond Green. Something crazy happens. Draymond Green goes over to Houston.
That'd be a nice little play.
What do you think happens there? Do you think Draymond Green is who he used to be and pushes them over the edge? Or you think Golden State still has it?
Well, oh man. I think that would take so much guts for him to go to Houston.
Of course.
That would be so hard
there
for
with
him.
the-
Everybody was saying the same thing about Durant going to Golden State, and then he was a snake for 2
Yeah,
years.
but
he's a winner.
Draymond and KD are wired differently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they really
Draymond's a winner.
They're
He's gonna
wired.
go against.
I don't think Draymond.
Draymond Green will straight up look at KD and tell him, leave.
Draymond
We don't
said-
need you. Like,
Yeah.
leave.
In the post game press conference after the game, Draymond said he's like, all y'all doubting us. That's dumb. Yo, we gonna be back. Like, I don't think Draymond's going anywhere. But to answer your question, I do think Can
That's
you
a
imagine?
loyal
Dude, the Rockets need somebody like that.
They
a
really do.
disruptor.
Like,
that's exactly what he is.
PJ Tucker could have been that if he was like who he is, but younger.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.